Okay, so this is weird, but I'm gonna put a sticky note over my face because I don't want to worry about what I look like during this. So hopefully that doesn't affect anything. If anyone says anything, I may not see it, but I'll respond afterwards. Um, so I mentioned earlier today that I was gonna do just like a 30-minute sort of an exercise or a practice in just being here and now. Some of you know that I've been doing a lot of work similar to that for the last few years. Just with everything that happened with Olivia, we spent a lot of our time really working to be where we were, when where we were was not a very comfortable place, but also had something very important to us that we didn't want to miss. And I think that describes this time for all of us right now, me included, and having to relearn that way of being all over again this week. So I don't know what I'll do moving forward, but for now, I'm gonna just offer to explore this with you, my friends. So I'm gonna take you through just some things that have been helpful to me lately in really trying to be where I am. And I'm really tempted to just do a lot of explaining right now, but instead I'm just going to jump right in. That's probably the best. So, yeah, if you're with me right now and you're listening, I'm just going to start giving you this kind of a series of invitations, and we'll see where it goes. And I'm going to play a couple songs for you too, I think, at the end. So probably about 30 minutes. I didn't bring my watch, so I'll be totally estimating. So to start, just let your eyes look around the room and find something that's nice to look at. It could be, or closing your eyes would be fine too. Or maybe you're looking at me while I'm talking, but just let your eyes sort of take a break for a moment. And just sort of let them receive whatever is nice for them to receive right now. I'm going to close my eyes. And the first thing that we'll do is just tune in to where we are. Just so you know, I feel super weird right now. So if it feels weird to you, then we're together in this. It's okay if it feels weird. My sticky note just fell off. I can't take that, so I'm going to put it back. So just tuning in, and when I say tuning in, I mean letting your attention turn to where you are. It could just be, let's just do physically for now. So if I was to use myself as an example, I feel a lot of tingling in my legs right now. And now I'm noticing a lot of tingling and shaking actually up in my shoulders and in my neck. And I'm not trying to make any sense of it right now. I'm just noticing it. All we're doing is noticing. And then I think I'm going to spend the majority of this time talking about the breath. And so I'm very aware that a lot of the people who keep up with me on socials are Christians, because a big part of my career was working directly in the church. And I know that I'm not as explicit about those things as I used to be, and that's purposeful. Because I feel that so much of what I have to offer can be made available without being explicit and still bring value to people inside the church world and outside it. So I know that a lot of people are Christians watching this, and I just want to put you at ease that this work that we're doing, this exploration, is very rooted in the Christian faith. But also, if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, I want you to know that this goes far beyond just what can be found in one single religion. This is a human exploration that we're doing. So we'll turn our attention to our breath. And to start, just notice what it's doing. You can notice where it seems to be going in your body when it comes in. And notice how the breath changes just as you start to notice it. And see if you can to sort of take a step aside from the work of breathing, and almost like you're watching someone else breathe, just tuning in and watching how you're breathing. Breath is an autonomic function, and so you are able to take control of it, but if you decide to take a break from controlling your breath, the breath will do its job. So just watch and notice. And as you're noticing, I'm going to tell you a couple more things about breath that could be really meaningful to think about as you're just watching your breath. So I mentioned that breath is an autonomic function of the body. It does its best, actually, when it's allowed to do its job without our help. And the way that the breath's designed is so that when the breath comes in, the diaphragm, it's right here, cuts your torso in half. And when the breath comes in, the diaphragm, which is like this, kind of like an upside down cone, when you inhale, the cone flattens. And as the cone flattens, it actually displaces the organs, and just a little bit, and it keeps on doing that. And as it does that, the organs actually receive a massage, and that massage brings health and healing to your body. This is just the way that the body's designed. And in culture, today's culture, it is very uncommon for our breathing to be functioning in that way. In our culture, it's very common for the breathing to sort of, almost like saying that it stays up here and the rest of our body is allowed to move. That's true just with busy life, but right now in our world, in any case where there's like a fight or flight response, where there's panic or a stressful situation, we tend to kind of hold our breath. And when that is prolonged, we can build a habit of keeping our breath shallow, not receiving the full benefit of the breath. I'm just going to take a minute now and just tune back into my breath, and you can tune back into yours, because I feel like I'm being really explainy. So the breath is designed to massage our organs, to allow healing into our bodies. Just just keep that in mind as you watch the breath and what it's doing. And maybe you can even feel a shifting happen if you allow it for the breath to go a little lower in the body. Maybe you'll even feel it down in the abdomen. And just keep watching that, and I'll keep talking about breath. So another helpful thing to notice about breath is that the root word of breath, inspiration, expiration, that little word in there is the same root that's in the word spirit. It's a Latin word, S-P-I-R, and we sort of we have a parallel, not even a parallel, we see them as one and the same throughout human history. And so those words go way back to actually equate spirit and breath together. And again, in the Christian faith and in many other human belief systems, there's been a common understanding that the way that the spirit works is through breath. Breath and spirit are one. So tune back in and just let another thing that you may have already known work its way into your experience of breathing right now. And now I'm just going to invite us to let our attention come back out and into the room that we're in a little bit. You can look around the room and just sort of invite whatever's happening in the room in. It could be something you see or the sounds that you're hearing in your room, or you might be hearing some, I'm in the basement, so you might be hearing some different plumbing sounds coming from here. Maybe you notice a smell or a lingering taste, or a touch, feel thing, like maybe the temperature in the room or the clothes that you're wearing. And then move back to the breath again, and just notice it, just watch it. And pay specific attention to the possibility that the breath does not need your help right now to do its job. And then pay specific attention to the possibility that every one of these breaths that come in without your help are bringing in healing to your body. And then pay specific attention to the possibility that there is a direct and deep connection between spirit and what is being done for you right now. And maybe you can even begin to explore those three together. And maybe you can even let the word receiving be part of your experience right now. that you're receiving something, you're being given something. And keep coming back to this posture of noticing without needing to change anything or do anything. We're just being right now. There's a lot going on outside our house, outside the room we're in, outside this body that we're living in. But right now, none of that is your concern. And right now, you're paying special attention to something happening that has been happening in your body for you. And then let's call this our baseline for the rest of the time. I don't know what there is left, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. This is our baseline. It's we can call it checking in or coming back to the breath or something, but baseline being one by one I'm putting each of the things that I'm carrying, I'm putting it down, all the way down to the most basic thing that I can think of, which is breathing. And even with that, I'm putting it down, and I'm watching how I don't die. And I'm even starting to notice more life coming in when I do this. And I'm letting the truth of that sink in. If you are a Christian, you're already putting some things together. Some of the things that you've heard and even said your whole life are starting to make sense in your body. And that's a pretty big gift for a lot of us. If you're not a Christian or not even religious at all, you're feeling something that you can tell is deeply spiritual. And there's no need for us to put any kind of label on it. I'm not going to be putting labels on anything tonight. Just noticing what is. Let's take maybe 5-10 more seconds with just being in this place. And next, I want to try taking a sort of hands-off, similarly hands-off, noticing type of posture into exploring a little more of our reality. And I don't jump out to our reality being what's happening in the world right now, just in the room that you're in. In fact, just in your body right now. So tune back in. I mentioned it earlier, but just a physical feeling in your body right now. It could be an ache or a pain. It could be a really nice feeling, but something that is happening right now in your body. And the key right now for us is to not change it, not even to judge it as good or bad, just to notice. Just like we did with the breath. I immediately noticed like 5 things I'd like to change. And I'm just saying this out loud to you. I'm going to choose to not change that right now. Just noticing. And then I'm just going to keep going here. I feel like I'm maybe trying to cram in too much, but so I'll add this little thing. At any point, if it feels like overload, just bail back to the baseline, just the breath, and just notice what it's doing, and you can let my voice go into the background if you want. But I'll walk us through a couple other things to notice about here and now. So the next thing is thoughts. So just as when I said the word and I started tuning into what are my thoughts, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm thinking like 1,000 things right now. And then making all kinds of judgments on myself because I really want to be present right now with my friends who I'm trying to be with, and I'm thinking 1,000 things right now. But probably I'm not the only one. So rather than making a judgment or trying to change anything, you can, if you want to close your eyes, I'm going to just take a moment to tune in to probably a very quickly changing, seemingly chaotic, possibly, stream of thoughts. Just like broccoli. What do we have for dinner? What are the kids doing? What's Heather doing upstairs? What? Just thing after thing after thing after thing. Is anyone even watching this? I don't know. What if a lot of people are? What if no one is? I don't know what to say next. Just all of these thoughts that you're having to just tune into them. And I'll shut my mouth for a moment. Just notice. And as we're doing this, I'm just going to throw sort of this side picture into the thing. You might be alone right now. There might be someone else in the room. But as you do this, if you can just picture a bench next to you. Maybe you're on the bench and there's a space next to you. And in that space there is a child. And this is a new idea to me. All this stuff is really. So I'm sharing with you stuff that I'm learning and trying right now. In that space there's a child. And this child may not get a lot of opportunities to have your attention and to bring stuff up to you. And as we start to quiet ourselves like this child may have an opportunity to bring something up. And if that ever happens during this time, let's give that top priority. So if that happens, if you feel a tug on your metaphorical shirt and like this child is trying to say something, let that be the main thing that you notice when it happens. So we did thoughts. Let's move back to the breath for just a moment. So for me, I just noticed, I was trying to be articulate. I was trying to say something and make some sense, and I was holding my breath almost that whole time. So I'm just going to let my breath go back to its job. And I'm going to go back to receiving. And now let's move our attention out again and notice pictures. Oh, this was just, my teacher just shared this with me, this idea, and I was like, I couldn't tell the difference between thoughts and pictures. And it was really helpful when he clarified that those are two separate things. Pictures don't have words with them, they're just pictures. So just let your mind sort of go into noticing those pictures. For me, I don't know what it's like for anyone else on the earth, but for me it's like similar to the thoughts, just boom, 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 lots of pictures. If I was to say them out loud right now, it'd be like Picasso, my teacher, a guitar, a crowd of people, a surfboard. Like, it's just like so random. But just tune into that for a moment, and just, again, we're not making sense of it, we're not changing it, we're just noticing. Just watch it like a movie. And then just go back to just making sure that we're letting ourselves breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And let your attention move to emotions. So again, it's a very specific work, I think. So we're not focusing on the thoughts attached to the emotions or judging the emotions. It's just emotions. So if I was to do that right now, afraid, excited, hopeful, relieved. It's really fast and it changes a lot. Again, it could just be me. I haven't done any research on this, but if it's that fast, let it be that fast. But just watch those emotions. And with this one, let yourself be surprised at some of the emotions which are there. And let yourself be comforted by some of the emotions that are there. That's a lot of stuff. If you've hung with me this far, I'm really thankful, and just that you listen to me, and I'm really thankful that you would try this with me. I think this is a really important work, and I want to keep kind of reminding the Christian group who's watching this that it's okay to do these explorations, that this is not opposed to your teachings, and I'm a Christian too, so my teachings, and to the non-religious, no one's trying to put you in a category of religious at this point. We're just noticing. Only noticing what is. So it's a lot. But the reason that I offered to do this was because this is the type of work, this sort of specific, that I've had to do very specifically on a daily basis for the last 5 years, maybe longer. And without this type of, I'm going to say work, but I'm also going to say care and attention to my own self, I would not have survived Olivia's life, and I definitely would not have survived her passing. And I would not be surviving this week. This week has triggered all kinds of fears for me, and I know it is for you too. And we still have a long road ahead of us. And the worst part of it is we don't know how long, and we don't even know where it's going. And that's a really scary thing, but probably has been true for a lot longer than just the last week. And this type of giving ourselves attention and time to start receiving and being is necessary if we want to survive. And more than that, if we want to live. This time may last for 2 weeks or 2 years. But when this one's over, something else will come. And that's just what life is. It's a series of challenges. But within all of those challenges are the moments that are life. And if we cannot learn to live those moments, if we keep waiting for the end of the challenge to take a breath, to receive a breath, to live, we will never live. We'll just keep waiting. And so my challenge for myself right now, just as I'm talking, is that this week is a great opportunity for me to live, and with great moments to not be missed. This may look different for each of us, but I think that I'm going to keep doing something similar to this, especially while we're all kind of self-quarantining and all this, to help us to have some more tools to give ourselves space and attention. And so I'm going to play a couple of songs to end this time. And during these songs, I'm going to be practicing the same exact thing that we just did. Probably not the whole thing, but whatever comes up from it. And I'd like you to try to do the same thing if you're willing. Rather than just trying to pay attention to my song, I'd like you to try to receive it. And with my voice and my song, I'd like you to try to receive whatever else comes with it. It may be very comforting, or it may be very uncomfortable. But just keep coming back to that child tugging on the sleeve. And if something emerges in you as you listen to these songs, please give it attention. You don't have to do anything or fix anything, but we're just giving attention just to what is right now. I don't even know what songs I'm going to play. Just kind of a little exciting. Okay. So here's 2 songs for you. buzzing. Don't rush to get up now. You've really been through it this time around. I know you wanna run, just to feel it, just to know that you're still here. Well, it's like a movie all around. Speeding up and up, you're only slowing down. You'll never catch up now. No, let it go till pain catches you. At least it's a moment here and now. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. So don't rush to get up. She's not going anywhere. And you're not saving anyone. Oh, come back to where you are. Oh, it might hurt like hell, burn like coals, but at least right here we know who we are. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. You're not saving anyone. So don't rush to get up. Don't rush to get up. Don't rush to get up. This this song is, I think, maybe very appropriate right now. shoot, I still have another song I wanted to do. Oh well. It's not a marathon. You don't have to be strong. It's okay to fall apart. You can only be where you are. You don't have to control. It's not a marathon. It's not a marathon. It's not a marathon. You don't have to be strong. It's okay to fall apart. You can only be where you are. You don't have to control. It's not a marathon. It's not a marathon. And thank you for, it's nice to be around some people besides family. So thank you for spending this time with me. And yeah, I don't know how this works. So I don't know if you tuned in during the music, if that's where you started, or if it always starts at the beginning or what. But if you're watching now and you tuned in like during the music, I'd really love it for you to, if there's a rewind button, to like rewind back and start at the beginning. I really hope you do. I think there's some really helpful things that have been helpful to me, and I think could be helpful to all of us to try. Katie says to do the other song. I guess I'll do one more, and then I'll sign off. I'm gonna go upstairs, but thank you for spending some time with me. Time is not running out. There's not someone chasing you down. You are not gonna drown. It's just an inch of water. Not enough to make you drown. It's just a rope they tie up, but it's enough to hold you down. You could run, you could fly, you have wings, you've always had them. You are not gonna die. It's just an inch of water. Not enough to make you drown. It's just a rope they tied on, but it's enough to hold you down, down, down. You could run, you could fly, you have wings, you've always had them. You are not gonna die. Just an inch of water. Not enough to make you drown. It's just a rope they tied on, but it's enough to hold you down. But it's enough to hold you down. Is it enough to hold you down? Thanks, friends. It's just an inch of water. It's not enough to make us drown. We'll get through this. And this felt like a good thing to do, so I think we'll do it some more. Have a good night.